seen from the flags of our fathers. I showed you they kept panning back and forth between gun positions pointing towards the beach from the left and from the right. From the right was Mount Suribachi. That thing is 7 levels of guns, right? But this is the quarry. So this is under the basically under the area of responsibility of the 4th Marine Division, the 25th Marines. The 25th Marine Regiment, absolutely. And underneath, General Cates was so assured of that thing being a nightmare because it's basically right up next to the beach, bucked right up against the beach, is this tower full of enemy guns, which has behind it another tower of enemy guns. So long and short of it was, he said, this is too dangerous. We can't be line of sight from all these positions. We're gonna have to double up our battalions on Blue 1. So actually, there was 2 battalions that went on Blue 1 and Blue Beach, which is the last probably 350, I guess, yards or so, was vacant on landing day. And it was an absolute nightmare. Can anyone tell us a little bit about what the Marines experiences they went up against the quarry?
It was actually pretty hellish. It was the worst fighting that was experienced on Iwo Jima when the initial invasion happened. So when the invasion forces were coming in, they were just continually getting pounded by mortars, by enemy gunfire, and everything of the sorts. And it took multiple reinforcements just to even try and conquer it to capture this area. It was finally Colonel, what was the colonel's name? I think his name.
Oh.
I think it. Colonel.
So, being a historian, kind of, I guess you have to know everything about anything that's old. A lot of this stuff is just elaborated and I'll get out, but I'll give you an example of some of the things that I know, what they are. Hammer woodring, have any clue what this bad boy is? Yeah. Practice run. Right. So this is actually, you're absolutely right, it's actually a practice bomb, a 500-pound general purpose practice bomb. So these are the cleats on which it would hang from an F-4U here, for example, but it would be used for dive bombing and things of that nature. We found 3 of those in my time at Kadena Air Base in the last 5 years on the end of the runway, in dip pits and so forth. So I've been, we have one in even better shape than this one actually. So we have a lot of these guys, which are dual-purpose anti-aircraft artillery guns. You can see here they have the venting along the barrel to radiate heat. Can you tell us anything about dual-purpose anti-aircraft guns and how they're useful on an island? And there's, you can see some here in front of you, but there's actually other examples of that used on Okinawa. So what the Japanese do is
Mount Suribachi, November 20th, 2015. Beach 1, 2 further down that way.
airplane. My God.
I just figured that.
These things left below.
Top of Suribachi.
Alright, looking up their butty. Take 30 minutes, eat lunch, take some pictures, go exploring, and we get ready to meet back up
Excuse me.
at 12:30, alright? There's one back there. So here's the volcano here on the right. So true.
What time's the shuttle pick us up out here?
Can you see the vent right there?
Yep.
I wouldn't step too far too close to the edge. Because you ain't coming back. So you see a couple of the Japanese observation posts along the edges of the vent. Yeah. Keep an eye out for the road too. Boy, that's classic out there.
Look how calm the sea is.
It's gorgeous.
Unbelievable.
All right, I want to get pictures from somebody.
There's the invasion beach.
I imagine just
Yeah.
this spot right here just filled with ships.
Oh, hundreds.
Yeah.
Not over 1,000 maybe. As far as you could see.
I mean, that would be traumatic in the 21st century, even after we've been acclimated to ISIS and this and that.
Yeah.
50 freaking kamikaze planes. They're basic. And most of the American people thought the battle for Iwo Jima was over or was almost over, and the same thing was true for the United States commanders that were on the island. So that's why you have a flag raising here, in an effort to say, okay, well, we're done with the island, we're just mopping up, So you have a second flag raising in the middle of the Motoyama Plateau where the airfield is at, and a third, final declaration of the end of combat operations at Kitano Point, after they conquered the gorge, which is the very, very last feature on the very northern part of the island. You can really barely see it. Combat team, more or less. Is the one that's responsible for cutting the head off the dragon. So they scoop across the island. They're the only one that meet the day one objectives. So they scoop from this beach all the way to that beach by the end of day one. But they're still exposed, as you can imagine, to the worst fire anybody on them, practically. Although, surprisingly, the quarry on the very end obviously had a great deal more defense in depth, because you only have one mountain mass here. So the 28th make it across. The 27th Marines, the 23rd and 25th Marines in the 4th Marine Division don't really make it past the end of the actual beach. I mentioned also the island is volcanically active. If you look out in the middle of the beach, you'll see a large rock sticking up at the end of that trail. That rock is Fatatsu Rock, and it's basically the division line between Red 1 and Red 2, which has the 2nd Battalion, 27 Marines, and the 1st Battalion, 27 Marines from the 5th Marine Division. So that spot used to be 50 yards off the coast of Iwo Jima. That's how much the island has lifted up since that time, in 70 years. So, as I mentioned in the brief yesterday, it's surprisingly far to walk to the water. Make sure you have the chops for it, because it's going to be a long, long walk. You can also see how the sand is darker at the bottom. That's why you want to walk all the way down there if you want to collect sand. Long and short of it, be prepared for a long hike. And it's gotten consecutively longer every year since the end of the engagement. So imagine that as a shooting gallery, which is completely surrounded by high ground, and then divide that by the amount of beach, probably by 70%, and then you have a small idea of what kind of hell you're facing as all of the guns on this position and on the quarry are scoped in on those beaches.
pre-registered, every square inch of it. So, does anyone, do you have anything from the other tour guides that you want to talk about? Anything about William Genost and the flag raising? Actually, I think I have a picture of it. Man, that's a good shot. I'll get a vertical one. Yeah, it's turning a little bit more this direction because otherwise you're supposed to take it out of the top. So basically,
Observation post on the top of Mount Suribachi. The beach is right down there. You can't see all the vegetation, but pretty amazing.
sorry. This is stacked defensive position in this island. I don't know about you, I think the most impressive thing about this gun is that somebody managed to lift it up using the bare forces of their wits halfway up the side of Mount Suribachi and then placing it here. So what you can see, you see how the concrete wraps around this thing? Imagine a roof that goes over the top of it and only the front maybe 6 feet of it are sticking out beyond the actual sight, the firing aperture. This is going to be covered in combat netting so it's invisible to U.S. forces. I mentioned that you'd oftentimes see a big metal door that would be brought out over the front of one of these things. In this case, it doesn't have the ability to do that. It would be too large. But this thing would reveal its muzzle flash And basically, that would be how it would eventually have been located and destroyed. So it's actually pointed over the top of the island and would be capable of hitting targets more than probably 5 miles away from here. So it's been used to fire at battleships and so forth. So some heat, just get it off inside the mountain and go to another firing position. Or if somebody's patrol is rushing up on this gun, you can go out completely, pop up inside of the pillbox, the outside, and shoot them from an infrared position. So absolutely well protected and integrated with everything else. And you'll see that both these tunnels have collapsed. They had a couple.
Whoa, that's a big step right there. That's kind of treacherous right there.
Okay.